Not that I don't want you here.
What's up, babes? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your very first time here, my name is Maya. I recently unlocked level 35 in life, and today we're going to be talking 35 lessons I've learned in my 35 years of life. We're going to be covering multiple topics: self-love, God and faith, life tips in general, relationships, and career. There's a lot of different things I've learned in the last 35 years, and baby, we're going to talk about all of them, and it's going to get real juicy, so grab your little snack, get relaxed so you can enjoy this video. Today's video is made in partnership with Sephora at KOHL'S, so shout out to them for sponsoring us today. Also, we have a little friend who will be in and out today, so enjoy Dior and her shenanigans. So y'all, it has been so long since we've sat down and done like a little get ready with me type video. So I'm excited to sit down and talk to y'all today. Just to let you guys know, everything that we are going to be using on the face is from Sephora at KOHL'S. And y'all know it is holiday time. If you have beauty shopping to do for the holidays, you need to be shopping at Sephora at KOHL'S. We're going to be using a few different things from the Sephora collection today, but that also includes this starter brush set, which I get so many questions about what brushes to use and everything, and I feel like this is the perfect like beginner brush set. And for primer today, we're going to be using the Milk Hydro Grip primer. This is one of my favorite primers, and I have not used it in a while, so I'm happy I was able to pick this up at Sephora at KOHL'S. I feel like the benefit of shopping at Sephora at KOHL'S is, first of all, you get two really great stores put together. So it's a one-stop shop, but you can also shop in store and online, which makes it so much easier to get your holiday shopping done. I'm using the number 6 multitasker face brush from the beginner set. And we're also going in with the One Size foundation today. I'm using some newer stuff today, not just all stuff that I usually use. If you watch me, you know, child. I will use the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And won't say nothing about it, but we are going to use a few different things that I wanted to try out. And they also can make perfect gifts as well. So if you got some beauty lovers in your family, this is your one-stop shop. Everything that we use today will be linked below in the description box, so make sure you guys go there to shop. Thank you again to Sephora at KOHL'S for sponsoring today's video, and let's get into these lessons. We're gonna zoom it in just a little bit so that you guys can see all the application and everything, so you're not missing nothing. But I think we're gonna start off with the eyes today, y'all. I'm gonna go into this One Size concealer that we just used and blend this in with my beauty blender. So we're gonna put these into categories, and we're gonna start off with self-love. This is the eyeshadow palette we're using today. This is the Too Faced Born This Way, the Natural Nude palette. Oh, this color is so deep and pretty. Oh, I love this. So the very first one is After God. Self-love is the most important love there is. The level in which we love ourselves and show love to ourselves will show how much we are able to extend love to others. And I'm always saying you can't pour from an empty cup. So I feel like filling the cup is for you, and people will get the overflow. So if you don't have that love for yourself, you're not really going to be able to effectively give love to others. So after God and that love, it's all about you. Next, self-care and self-love is far from selfish, but a lot of people will try to make you feel like it is selfish because it doesn't benefit them on the surface. It's safe to say that everybody wants what's best for them personally. Usually when you are pouring into yourself and focusing on you, sometimes that's not going to align with what someone else wants for you and out of you. And so some people will consider that selfish. I've learned up until this point that self-love does not have to be in consideration of someone else, because then it's not self-love. The focus is supposed to be you getting what you love and what you deserve and pouring into yourself. And anyone who thinks that's selfish is not the person you need to be in conversation or relationship with. I mentioned this next one a couple of videos ago, but usually when you choose yourself in a situation, you will become somebody's villain. I've learned this multiple times in my life, mostly through romantic relationships. In moments when I have had to choose what's best for me, unfortunately, which shows that I was with the wrong person, it was the same thing as doing what was not best for them. So in their eyes, as we piggyback on the last one, I was being selfish. I was not considering the other person. I wasn't putting what they needed, obviously, above what I needed. But people will try to make you feel as though that is a negative thing when it really is not. Yeah, it might be negative for them. So in their book, when they go to tell this story, you're gonna be the bad guy. She was selfish. She didn't think about me. All she thought about was herself. She didn't care how that decision was going to affect me. And though when we do have people that we love, this is a conversation. We don't want to hurt the people that we love and things like that. But sometimes you just can't get around it. Becoming the villain will become part of the journey. Y'all, this eyeshadow palette is so pretty. So freaking pretty. I'm going to probably go into like a shimmer in the corner. So I want to add a little pizzazz here. The next self-love lesson I've learned is that the only approval you need is your own. Now, of course, you can say, because we have, a God section in this video. So you're Christian, you also want to make sure you're in alignment with God's will. But so many times we are searching for the approval of other people who we could value their opinions, of course. But by no means do we need their approval to make moves in our own lives, to make our own decisions, to really do anything. Now, this might be a little different for those of us who are a little younger. We're still dependent on like parents and things like that, or especially if you're married and you're making decisions. That's a completely different thing. I'm talking about just in life as you're trying to figure out your own stuff, your own path, and you're thinking about like the approval of other people. It really honestly is all about you and your approval and not someone else's. Because at the end of the day, you are who you wake up to every day. You are living with your own personal life decisions. Those people are not living it, which is why your approval is all that matters. As you heal as a person, everyone will not be on that same level, and that's totally okay. As I've started to like heal my inner child and become a better person, I don't even know if I told y'all the shade. This is Deep 1 Neutral Golden. It's literally like maybe one shade, maybe 2 shades lighter than me, but we are definitely going to highlight, so don't you worry. I'm also using the Fenty Beauty Cream bronzer. This is in the shade Chocolate. But I have learned in my life that everyone is not gonna be ready for your healing. And I'm really speaking about those who we need to have conversations with, people from our past, parents, friends. Everyone's not gonna be ready for that. They're just not. I recently had a situation where I wanted to have a conversation with someone who had hurt me. I had found some healing and I wanted to have a conversation with them to possibly mend that or just make the situation better than it was. But that person was unable to see their fault. They were unable to see what they had done wrong, or at least to validate my reality. They had not done any work on themselves to understand how they were moving and how that could have possibly hurt me. So they were not at a level to where they could get it. At that point, I had to ask myself, okay, they're not where I am. So where do I go from here? And my decision was to cut my losses, because I could not continue to have a relationship with this person when they had lack of accountability. And that was a move that I had to make for myself and my own well-being. And let me just say real quick, y'all, this concealer, I don't know if y'all saw how that just blended out. It is so like, it almost looks like I had powder on. I have to zoom in. This is my first time using this concealer and it almost looks like I have powder on, and it dried down so pretty. But we are going to highlight though, and I'm using my NARS Radiant Creamy, and this is in Caramel. I'm also gonna be using this Soft Pinch blush from Rare Beauty, and this is in the shade Entourage. And she's actually a little bit lighter than I thought she was gonna be. In the store, this shade looked like it was gonna be a lot deeper. So I'm probably gonna have to go and grab the shade Belief. And I'm using this number 4 blush and bronzer brush. The shade Belief is the one that I use usually. But I felt like Entourage was gonna be really pretty, but it's actually a little bit light for my complexion. Still blends out pretty, but I'm gonna go grab Believe here in a moment so that we can really get the payoff we're looking for. But yeah, that person was not ready, and I had to accept that and figure out what that looks like for me. And for me, it was self-love to choose myself. in that moment. In that situation, I had to create boundaries for myself, which leads me to my next lesson, is that boundaries is a form of self-care. I'm a person that didn't used to have any boundaries. I understand myself or where that came from, but I've learned actually more recently in my 30s how important it is to have boundaries. A lot of us learned this a lot earlier in life. I learned it and taught myself the hard way a little bit later. But having boundaries for yourself and rules on how you move and how you allow people to treat you is imperative and shows how much you love and value yourself. Next, no is a complete sentence. I don't know if we got to get deeper on this one because I feel like it's pretty straightforward, but that is a huge lesson that I have learned. Your no does not need explanation. Never has and never will. Next, I do things that social media will never see. Now, this was something that is a little bit, it's a smidge niche, only because obviously I'm an influencer. I live my life online and things like that. But as a vlogger, I would get to the point where I'm like, you know, if I didn't film it, did it happen? Or this is really great content and I'm missing out on it. And that was so unhealthy for me because then it felt like I couldn't do anything without showing it online. It reminds you to be in the moment and enjoy life regardless of if you got a picture or not. Because once upon a time, this was not a thing. Social media and all this capturing of, you know, everything was not a thing. So yes, capturing is important, but definitely do things and enjoy them even if you don't get a picture or a video. And y'all, we are using the One Size setting powder. This one is actually in Rich Peach. And I'm just setting all of my concealed areas. Mental health and physical health are equally important. So while you're taking care of your body, make sure you're taking care of your mind, getting your rest, and prioritizing what you need mentally, because it all starts here. I've learned to practice gratitude daily, but especially in hard times. For me, it has helped to shift my mindset, and I have tended to be, in the past, more of a negative person. I have had a habit of focusing on what's wrong versus what's right, and changing that mindset, which I'm very much still working on, has truly helped me to just be a more positive and grateful person. And I'm using this number 3 powder brush, and I'm gonna dip it into the powder and dust it all over the face. This is turning out really cute. It's giving a holiday look, and I love that for us. The last one in self-love is to allow yourself to feel all of the feelings. I've spent so much of my life hiding my feelings and my emotions, and it has been so unhealthy for me. If y'all hear squeaking noises, it's Dior. She's playing with her toys by my feet. I have learned that it's very healthy for me to allow myself to feel everything. Cry if I need to cry. Scream if I need to scream. It's very important to get these emotions out because it also helps you to heal when you get it out instead of letting it fester inside. Next, we're going to talk about relationship lessons that I have learned in my 35 years of life. Let's talk about it. We got a good solid 7 of these. Y'all, my camera just died on me, so we took a little break. And baby girl right here is looking in the mirror and she's not happy because she still doesn't know that this is her. Say hello. Number 1. This is personal to me, but if you want peace, choose celibacy. Probably one of the best decisions I've ever made was to be celibate. I kid you not. And this is coming from someone who slept around pretty regularly in my early 20s. And I would only say early 20s because I was in a relationship the second half of my 20s from 26 to 30. But my early 20s, it was just not, it wasn't great. D-word. Y'all. Whenever you're done. If I could have made that decision earlier, I would have. So if I could go back, I would 100% not be a woman that sleeps around. Another lesson I've learned in relationships is be very selective, even if it means you're going to be lonely for a while. A lot of my relationship decisions, as far as who I'm with, who I'm spending time with, who I'm allowing to text me, all of that was based on just not wanting to be lonely, worried about age, and I was not as selective as I should have been. And looking back, I would have done totally different. The person that you choose to spend your life with and to be your partner in life can make or break your life. So let's change that. let's change it from what I said. The person you choose for your life can make or break your life. There we go. I'm about to use this Fenty Cheeks Suede Powder Blush. That's pretty. I've been obsessed with like a shimmery blush look. So I've been wanting to try this. Let me try to not go too much on it though, because this stuff is, I wouldn't say pigmented, it's just very like shimmery. Next, your boundaries or lack thereof will teach people how to treat you. I think that's pretty straightforward. Get some boundaries, and if you do have them, men will know what they can and cannot do with you. And that's the only way that they will know. I know we get out here and dudes be acting so crazy. We be like, why do you act like this? Because there's women out there with no boundaries who allow this in their lives. So how do they know that you're not that girl? By the boundaries that you set with them. Next, and shout out to my followers who were looking out for me. At the time, I was a little preoccupied and did not learn this in my upbringings. So hearing a bunch of strangers screaming it at me didn't make much of a difference. But another lesson I've learned, partially thanks to you guys and in my own, you know, life and learning the hard way. Do not date below your station. Shout out to y'all. And sorry for not acknowledging it when you were screaming it at me. But like I said a couple weeks ago, I was limited by my own growth. Which is the next one, and that can be applied to just life in general too. The decisions that you're making in your life, your relationships, whatever, is limited by your own growth and processing and healing. So you gotta give yourself grace. When you do make decisions that are not so great and you learned later on in life, that version of you who made that decision cannot be held to the same standard as the current version of you because she didn't know no better. That's where she was. She had only processed up until a certain point. So give yourself grace and your decisions will be limited by your growth. But back to that other one real quick. We just gonna go back real quick. I learned the hard way not to date below my station. The hard way. I was in the mindset of like, everyone goes through a hard time, which I have before. Everyone, you know, deserves a little grace. You know, it's okay that he's not where he's supposed to be. At least I'm here, I can handle this. That was the mindset I was in. And that version of me thought she was doing the right thing. And while I was in that mindset, I 100% thought I was doing the right thing. From certain point of views, you can argue that that's the right thing to do, but try being someone who has worked really hard to get to a certain area of life and you make a lot of money and have a certain lifestyle, and then you get with someone who has significantly less. It is not fun. It is not fun. Not only for you, but also for the man, because God made men to be providers, to be the leaders in all these things. And it's the perfect formula for emasculation. That's not a nice man to be with. And I also feel like, and we're not gonna harp on this too much, was the last thing I'm gonna say. I know that God made men to be leaders and to have that authority just naturally, even if you don't actually have it. You know what I'm saying? Like it is wired into you, I believe. So when we get with men, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna bring us to their level versus them coming to ours. Just because of the position that God put men in versus women. Yeah, no. Also, there's this clip of Lisa Ray going around and she made this quote that made it make perfect sense. She said, why would I stress you out with a lifestyle that I've already become accustomed to? If I'm going to these fancy places just for lunch meetings, but it takes your whole check for you to take me there, we not the same. She was like, I go on vacation for the month and you still going on vacation for the weekend. We don't need to hang out. And that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. I'm gonna zoom in and we're gonna do our under eye really quick. This is how the face is looking. I think she looks really, really good. Next, if you're giving and you are not receiving, then it's time to go. This was a big lesson that I learned because a lot of my life in romantic situations, I would be heavily focused on what the man needs, making sure they're good and not putting any emphasis on what I need. So I had to learn the hard way that speaking up for myself and saying what I want will shake the table, but that's okay. And if it does shake the table, that's probably not the person you're supposed to be with. The person that you're with should welcome you also being happy and getting what you want. We're about to go into the Sephora collection colorful illuminizer. This is in blinding bronze. Next, you need to allow yourself to learn yourself before choosing a partner. We learn so much about ourselves, I feel like, in our late 20s, early 30s. And if you choose your partner based on who you are at 21, 24, 25, more than likely that person is not going to complement who you are later on, unless, you know, God ordained it and he let y'all get together young, whatever, because that happens and you be fine. But the age that I wanted to be getting married, oh, I was definitely not ready, because I didn't even know who I was then. I'm a completely different person than I was at that age. And lastly, for relationships, the only person that you can change is you. You can't change other people, but you can change your actions and how you see things. Next, we're gonna chat about career. I'm gonna spray my face real quick. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. So for career, I learned that you will spend most of your life working. So choose what you wanna do based on the lifestyle that you want. If you know that you want to be a hands-on mom and you want to be home for your family, you probably wanna be an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? And not that this is the only thing you can do. I'm just throwing things out there. But you probably want to do something that allows you to have more of your time and make your own schedules. If you know that you want to be traveling a lot, or, you know, doing things that cost a lot of money, you need to make sure you're in a career that is going to yield a lot of money. You should not be trying to be a teacher. Think about what you want your life to look like and decide on a career and a path based on that. Because we're talking about your everyday life for the rest of your life until you retire. That's a very long time. You can have it all, but you might not have it all at the same time. I'm just gonna leave that there. But I also learned that you should remove the pressure of having it all figured out career-wise at a certain age, because for me, I was causing myself unnecessary stress. I'm still trying to figure things out now. And I'm 35. And also, you can try to figure it all out and then it don't work out that way. I got a bachelor's in English and a master's in advertising and marketing. And I never thought in a million years I would be doing what I'm doing right now. This career path didn't even exist when I was in college. So I say that to say, you could try to figure it all out, but the stress is unnecessary, because at the end of the day, you gotta allow God to do his thing. Next, we're gonna go into like some God and faith lessons that I have learned while we go into lips. So for the lips, I'm gonna go into a liner. We're gonna try some different lips actually, y'all, while we're talking about this, because there's a lot of different things I wanna do. I'm gonna go into this coin collector liner. From one size real quick, it is the most beautiful deep liner. So if you are a woman of color, have a deeper skin tone, girl, make sure you have this. This is so good. And I'm about to try these different lip glosses that come in the new collection from Huda Beauty. These are available at Sephora KOHL'S. And there's 3 different glosses, and we're gonna try each one of them while we chat about the Lord. This first one is She Glitzy. The first faith lesson is your spiritual journey does not have to look like someone else's. This is definitely giving 90s vibes, and I love that. But yeah, just because someone might be further along in their journey than you are does not mean that you're not where you're supposed to be. Just because you might have a different viewpoint or on something than someone else does that you might see as more spiritually connected or further in their Christian journey, doesn't mean that you're in the wrong space. Everyone's journey is different. And even more to that point, I learned that it's very important to learn who God is for yourself. And this next shade we're going into is She Fire. So many of us learn who God is through family members, through, you know, what we learned as a child, through scriptures that our parents send us or family sends us, instead of really opening up the Bible and learning who God is for yourself, learning his personality, understanding who he is, what he stands for, versus, and this is cute too before I wipe it off. Very cute. I think I want more of a lighter inside though, because I feel like this just makes me look very flat with this look. So we're gonna take it off. I've learned how important it is to understand God on my own and not just take it for what people tell me about who he is. That has been imperative in my journey. Next, strong faith will get you through all the other areas of your life. And this shade is called She's Flirty. This might be a favorite. I like this one. I like this one a lot. I feel like it plays on the inner corner vibe, which we need to add to. A big thing that I had to learn is to practice faith over worrying in my life. because I'm a warrior. I will be wearing it all day. So it takes practice and, you know, getting stronger in my faith to have faith and to know that God's got me and I don't have to worry about anything. And I know that that faith has helped me in all areas, relationships, career-wise, insecurities, money-wise, just so many different things. And lastly, every single season is needed for where you're going. When I look back over my life and some seasons that seemed so unbearable and so sad and so, God, why me? And I look at my life now, it's like, I see why me. Because I would not be who I am today. I would not have what I have today. I might not even live where I am today and have certain things happening in my life the way it is if this season didn't happen, if God didn't allow this in my life, if I didn't go through this season that possibly was not so great. And if I'm gonna give y'all a practical example, I got pregnant at 21 and I tell you 100%, if my daughter was not here, you would not be looking at me. This would not have been my career path. And though that season was not great for me as a single mother and being in college, it was part of my personal plan. So now when I go through certain seasons, I'm able to truly see the beauty in them and know that, all right, Lord, I know this is working for my good. What is the lesson that I'm supposed to learn? How am I supposed to come out of this better than I was? I'm almost positive I'm gonna go back to the lip that I just had on, but I do want to try this lipstick first, y'all. I got this lipstick from Fenty Beauty. It is one of their refillable ones. So this is the case. And if you do that, it pops out like this. Is this how you take it out? Yeah, this is my first time using it. And this is refillable. This can come out and you can change it. And I got this really pretty shade. It got stuck at the top of the, you know, case, but I feel like this is really cute for like fall, winter, holiday season. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so y'all can see it. We're about to move into some general life lessons that I've learned. Obviously, we picked this up at Sephora at Kohl's. Ooh, this is pretty. I'm missing my tip, so it's hard for me to really put it on the way it needs to be. So pretty, and they have so many different colors of this. It's perfect for holiday or gifting, especially if somebody's trying to get into lipstick, because they can buy the case and just switch them out. Yeah, do we like this? With the short hair, baby. It's giving. Anyway, let's get into some general life lessons, y'all. Number one, time is truly fleeting. You will look up and be 5 years older. Do it today. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. As you get older, life goes by even faster than you think. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sick of blinking my eye and it being another New Year's, and I have the same goals that I've had every single year. So I'm just learning this. There's some things that I'm changing about my life now that has been on the back burner. So do it today. Tomorrow is literally 5 to 10 years from now. Do it now. I'm gonna change back to the other lip. Y'all know me. We gotta change back. What other people think truly does not matter. It doesn't. What you think matters, and that is it. At the end of the day, in the morning, when you are elderly, when you go to the bathroom, it's just you and Jesus. What your life looks like is a reflection of the small choices that you make daily. And we're talking food choices, who you spend your time with, whose text message you reply to versus who you don't, what red flags you ignore, not speaking up for yourself at work. Every little decision that you make will make up the big parts of your life. So definitely watch those small decisions because they do add up and they do matter. Work on controlling your emotions so that your emotions don't control you. This is big for me because I am an emotional person at heart. I've lived most of my life with my emotions controlling me. But I'm working on getting to the point where I control them. I'm able to still do my work, still do the things that I need to do while I'm feeling certain emotions, and it doesn't freeze me, you know, to where I can't do anything. In that way, it's controlling me and I'm not controlling the emotion. It takes a while, but I would say it's a great goal to have. Most of what you worry about will probably never happen. Listen more than you speak. And this is imperative, I think, because a lot of times people will tell you exactly who they are if you just listen to them versus you just going off at the mouth. You'll understand a lot more about the world and about people and about anything if you just stop talking and listen. Y'all, I want to smell good, and I've been on TikTok and they have been recommending this like crazy on TikTok, and I've never got my hands on it. If you know me, you know that I am a vanilla girly, so We are about to try this Flor Vanilla Skin Hair and Body Fragrance Mist. I have been wanting to try this and I want to smell good. I'm about to go do my hair too so that we can finish this off looking real cute. But I'm gonna spray this and see what it smells like because I've never tried it or smelled it before. I just know that people say it's a vanilla girl's dream and that's right up my alley. Ooh, that does smell good. Ooh, and it's hair and body. Period. Next, no one is criticizing you more than they are criticizing themselves. They're probably too busy thinking about themselves to be thinking about you. So while we think, oh, they're looking at me, oh, I'm insecure because I don't want them to see this, or oh, they're probably looking at me like, girl, whatever, 9 times out of 10, they are not. And those who do have the time to be focusing on you probably are not very happy with their own lives. So they feel like they can't focus on themselves because they ain't got nothing to focus on. So the hypercriticalness has got to stop. This is something that I learned, I would say about 4 years ago. So in my 30s. I'm about to do my hair real quick and charge y'all so I can finish this video. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I did my hair and I changed the clothes. I just felt like I wanted something a little bit more festive to go with this look. So only have 2 more life lessons. The next one is go to therapy early and stay in therapy. This is a lesson I wish I would have learned early because I actually had some therapy as a small child from like childhood trauma. My mom saw the need for us to go to therapy. Didn't stay in. And then I got into therapy in high school and then another time in college. So I've been in and out of therapy my entire life, but I wish I would have kept it as like something that I did all the time. I feel like I could have grown a lot sooner in life and learned a lot more about myself and how I, and my own trauma and stuff has jeopardized my life in decision making. And lastly, there is no perfect timeline, and it would greatly benefit you to unlearn everything you've learned about age up until this point. Yeah, I don't know why I love these lip glosses so much. I just want to layer them. But it's so important to unlearn everything we learned about age because this world will make you feel like you are behind, like you are not on track with what the world says you should be doing at a certain age. The world will make you think that 30 is old. Are you kidding me? The way I see it is that your 20s is like kid senior. It's like the senior version of being a child. Like you are learning yourself. You don't know who you are yet. It's like the young adult. I see 30s and 40s as your regular adult age years. Now don't take what I'm saying to heart. Like I said, don't let nobody define age for you. This is just how I look at it now, how I have undefined it from what the world told me to see it as. I think your 30s and 40s are your regular adult years. And then I think that, your 50s and 60s is like your middle age vibe. And then after that, you start getting into senior citizen and, you're older, you're a lot more mature, like a mature adult, That's how I see it. And by no means now do I feel like you have to hit certain things in each age group. I just feel like that's so discouraging for us. And that is a lesson that I have finally learned in my mid-30s because even leading up to my mid-30s, I have felt like I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Some of my decisions has been ran and guided by the fear of being left behind and being too old. But I've learned now that it should never be tied to, I gotta do this by this age. And when we learn that, I think it really frees up your abilities, your choices, your life, trajectory. And that's a beautiful thing. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, it's been so long since we sat down and just chit-chatted and just did like an advice type girl chat video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again to SEPHORA at KOHL'S for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you guys shop all of the products that we use today in the description box. And I will see y'all on the next one. Bye, girl.